Good evening everyone from Canberra, Australia. It's Bethany here from Swell Publications. Tonight, Elly and Ashley are having a Dungeons and Dragons session. We've got just over here in the background. They're gonna set up snacks, dice trays, all that kind of thing. I think tonight is a bit more of an introductory night. I'm not really into Dungeons and Dragons, so I don't really know. They can tell you about it. If you've got questions, leave them below. The girls will answer. Tonight, I am going to tuck myself away into my bedroom where I will be reading Coraline all in one sitting for our Swell Book Club. It's a bit overcast, a bit miserable. It's threatening to rain. It seems like a perfect night to kind of sit in, cuddle up. It's Sunday night. I have to go back to work tomorrow. So it just seems like a really good opportunity to spend some time reading. And I'm going to try and bring you on my journey as I read Coraline for the first time. So I'm going to go and set up my room, probably read the first like 50-60 pages, and then I'll come out and make myself a cup of tea. Here we go, let's go read. I've got my blanket, my bed, all set up and ready to go. Good evening. So, alright, let's get started. Liking it for the majority of it, but thinking the ending was like a bit too like happy. I actually didn't like the happy ending. I kind of wish that Coraline had the buttons sewn on. I'm not really sure what to expect, but I do like the majority of Gaiman's writing. He's one of my favourite authors. So I'm interested to see this as a children's book versus his more like adult fantasy literature. So I just finished reading the first chapter, and it's interesting seeing what memories I have of the film are coming up reading the book. I am really distinctly remembering not liking Coraline. She was really whiny and miserable, and I just didn't like it. She seemed really ungrateful. And there are elements of that do come across in this, so it's kind of cool seeing the interpretation in the stop motion film. You know, it's definitely come across in the writing, but after the first chapter she doesn't seem as bratty and whiny as was in the film. So I'm gonna go, the girls just arrived with their Dungeons and Dragons crew, so I'm gonna go and say hello to them, and I think I'll make a cup of tea, and then I'm gonna sit down for my first half-hour reading stint. It's actually really cold tonight. I normally have my window open, but it's 10 degrees right now, and I'm really freaking cold, and my toes are freezing. So I think I'm going to kind of close everything up for the night and just sit and enjoy the reading experience. Also, I forgot to mention before, when I was reading the first chapter, it ends with these little creepy creatures starting to sing. But in my head, this is very niche for any Australians who are watching this. It says, "We are small, but we are many." And that's how I read it in my head. So now, it's kind of funny. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be creepy. But that's how I read it. So, let's see what the little voices are. I actually know what the little voices are. But fun to see how the writing on it goes. So after that first stint, I'm about a third of the way through the book, which is making really good time, to be honest. It's very, very easy to read. Because of the animated movie, there's so many like strong visual references that your brain visualizes. So it's really interesting like hearing the descriptions of like other mother, like in how in the film they've really made that kind of progress from the friendly version of mother through to the kind of more ulterior motives. Like it's been a lot more of a progression, whereas here she's kind of right at the start you can tell that there's an ulterior motive that's going on there and that something's kind of not right. Like even in the way that she's described like her fingers being like long and spindly with like big long red nails on it. I'm not super invested in it so far. It's not particularly creepy so far. It's just kind of like exploring this other world. It was funny with the cat. The personification of the cat in this story was so accurate to like how a cat would be. Like it literally describes him talking as catty, and I guess the kind of appearance of it being a black cat could be an omen that I probably should be paying attention to. I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea. I'm pretty tired and exhausted, so kind of sitting and lying down has been leaving me feeling a bit tired, so we'll see how I go. I'm going to go and make myself a cup of tea, probably a nice black tea, so a little bit of caffeine to spike me up for the next hour, and then I'll settle back in and read some more. Still refreshing to kind of wake me up with my little food and snack, and it should get me through the next hour for sure. Coraline just made herself some toast, and I just made myself a sandwich. Look how relatable I am. And when she drinks water because she's healthy, it's 10 degrees, I'm drinking tea. Coraline's parents have been kidnapped, and this is my favourite chapter so far because a few things have happened that I really liked. So first off, the way that when Coraline's parents been taken away. She doesn't really know that's happened at this point, so she's scavenging for food around the house. Was hilarious because I can totally imagine kids going and looking for like sliced cheese or like, what did she describe? A block of cooking chocolate, some apples, tin spaghetti. That whole like scavenging for food, I thought that was very accurate for any kind of young person who's at home trying to fend for themselves. I thought that was very cool. The other thing I really liked was the illustration game and paints of being brave. He refers to Coraline's experience with her father and these wasps. He says that going back when he was scared of the wasps, that was brave. Going back in spite of the fact that, you know, you're scared, that's bravery. And I think that's such a really cool illustration of bravery for the young people who'll be reading this book. And even as an adult reading this, I think it's something that I can still take into my everyday life, into my everyday decisions, to choose to make the right decision. So I'm going to continue reading. We've got some getting into the spooky bits now, so hopefully I get a little scared. Maybe not hopefully I don't get scared, but I would like to have that kind of thrillery kind of feeling as I'm reading this. Starting to get that really sleepy, tired feeling that because I didn't sleep well last night. But I've got like 35 pages to go, so I can do it. I can plow through. It kind of is creepy. It's not viscerally gruesome or, you know, particularly horrifying, but it is quite unsettling, the whole concept of this other place with the other mother and the kind of monstrosities that kind of happen. So Coraline's just got the third soul and now she's trying to find a way to escape. Now just before 10:30. That's how long it took me to read Coraline, and I finished it. It was like, I actually liked this a lot better than I liked the movie. I think Coraline was a much more likable character, and the story was, you know, for like a younger kind of fiction story, I liked that it was very well paced. Each chapter had like a purpose that it was trying to do, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. If you want to see more of my opinions on this, I will link you to our Swell Book Club, which will be released shortly. If you would like to read Coraline and join our Swell Book Club, you are most welcome to. Just hop on over to Facebook and find us. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for coming along and reading Coraline with me. Bye.